Hey guys, thanks for joining me today. Come along with me as we look at what can be considered part 2 of a video I posted quite a while ago about the 90-inch automated saw. And I did the intro video here. But that actually took place in November of 2017. And the video that we're looking at today is the place where we went to buy that saw. And this is an amazing place. It's in New York State. They had 6 or 8 of these saws going, I guess 24 hours a day. An amazing operation. I'll talk now and then to kind of explain what's going on, and otherwise just sit back and enjoy the noise and the saws. So as you probably saw in Lavina, in our little shop there, we had a very short runway for the saw, if we could use that term, the gantry movement. It was only the length of our little room, but these saws are actually built to be outside, and you can see they have a long row going here, and they just hit start and go home and come back the next day, and it's still cutting, and it's all automated. It's really an amazing machine. Here are a few photos that show the overall process. The quarrying is a messy operation. You can see the blue layer that they're actually quarrying is under many, many feet of this reddish material, and they have to remove all of that material, and then the process begins of removing the blocks. Once the layer that they want is exposed, they drill holes into it, in which a number of methods can be used. Most likely an expanding concrete is poured into those holes, which break off the blocks. In this photo, you can clearly see the holes that were previously drilled. In the case of the Pennsylvania Bluestone, their product needs to be sawn on all 6 sides. And depending on the shape of the block, they may or may not need to cut a flat side on one side of it first. But then they will cut this block into 12, 14, 16, 18, 24, whatever the measurement may be, to begin producing the billets that will be sawn into slabs later. Depending on order specifications, the final slabs are usually 2 inches thick, and to give them a natural surface, they do what is known as thermaling, or flaming, where an oxyacetylene torch is used to superheat the surface just for a second. It pops off the sawn surface, giving it, once again, a natural texture and appearance. If I remember correctly, this is the actual saw that we bought. I recognize it with the guard there, the blade guard, and the paint job on it. When we got the saw, we repainted it and put decals on it and everything. But this is what it looked like when we purchased it. And I mentioned earlier the billets. So here's a rough block from the quarry, and this saw can cut about 40 inches. Again, it's a 90-inch blade, and so it's probably making a cut every 12 inches in that block, because I think that's what they were cutting that day, is 12-inch, can't remember, 12-inch or 18-inch high. And so it'll make a cut every, let's just say 12 inches, and then they'll lay that flat, and then they'll cut it every certain distance, and then stand those up, and those are the billets. So here he's moving the gantry to the front of the line to start making the cuts. Again, you can see how long their gantry run is. They can really lay a lot of blocks in there and walk away probably for days. Before continuing with the video, I want to give a special thanks to my longtime friend and at that time business partner, Marcus Vaca, who is shown in the photo here, and also to the wonderful people at that quarry that we went to and visited that day, and for making the saw available to us. as it was truly an amazing experience in my life, both personally as well as professionally. In early September of that year, lo and behold, the saw arrived at our doorstep in Lavina, and it was amazing just the process it took to get it off the truck and shove it into that tiny little room. What a muddy mess. Here I am sitting on the blade to give you an idea how big that blade is. And here's the saw set in the room, and then we laboriously proceeded to build the rails for it to roll back and forth on for the gantry. We replaced some parts, refurbished some other parts, scraped it all, thoroughly cleaned it, repainted it, put the decals on, and on November 15th of that year, we pushed the big green button for the first time, and it was so much fun. Compared to the Pennsylvania Bluestone we saw earlier, our material in Lavina was a sandstone that, because of fracturing and faults and things of that nature, it came out of the quarries already rectangular. So many of the pieces we simply made a cut down the middle to get them to the right thickness for stair treads. And then, of course, we also sold other products as well, as you can see in the photos. And let's not forget about those glaciers of mud oozing everywhere on the property. An insane amount of mud. John Joyce, one of my subscribers, asked me in a comment to another video about the saw if we had ever considered or if we had ever sawn river boulders or large landscape rocks, for example, to get a clean face for a polished boulder. And I just wanted to answer you here because I imagine others are asking the same question. I'm a rock hound at heart, and I dreamed and thought often about cutting cool rocks. But first of all, they'd have to be so big because that blade, a 750-pound blade, with all its torque that it has, anything that was under about 500 or 1,000 pounds, it would literally toss it across the room. So that was a concern. And also, most rocks that rock hounds would like are probably not rectangular, and so we'd have to mount them in concrete or something along those lines. And that would probably be the only regret that I can say that I have of those 2 years. I wish we would have tried that, because that would have been really fun. Find some giant cool rocks and cut them. Other than that, thank you guys for sticking with me through this video. I hope you've enjoyed the saw and the background behind it and our business up in Lavina. And of course, I'm back down in Colorado now. I'm actually a document translator. I sit in front of a computer, so it's a very different life, and these are precious memories to me that I have really enjoyed sharing with you today. God bless you guys. Please like, share, and subscribe if you have not already. And by all means, leave comments. I do read them and try to answer. Thank you.